Hey boys and girls, I hope you all are safe and well. I sure do miss those smiling faces. I realized we were supposed to take a tour of Glade Spring Middle School together. But since we can't do that, I thought I could come on up here and we're going to do a little walking tour together, and we're going to get to see the school, get to see some pictures. Now, you know, not everybody's here, but we're going to at least get to see the building and get some of your questions you might be wondering about answered. Now, it's not going to look exactly the same because they've already started to move some things around, and there might be some things in the hall, and the classrooms are not going to look exactly the same. But nonetheless, let's go in and see Glade Spring Middle School.
Hi, welcome to Glade Spring Middle School.
Boys and girls, this is Mrs. Sullivan. She's the school counselor here, and she's going to take us on a little tour.
Yes, and we're so excited to have you. We could have had you actually at our school, but this is the next best thing. So we'll start our tour with the gym. And you will have gym class, PE class, 3 times a week. So you will be in here 3 days a week.
The gym teacher is Coach Self.
Get off of the bus in the morning, or if you're a car rider, you are going to come through the gym to go to bus duty. And we're going to do bus duty, show you where that will be. That's in the cafeteria. So you'll walk right along this blue line, straight into the cafeteria. Cafeteria, and this is where you will come for bus duty in the mornings. When you come in, all 6th graders will sit on this side of the cafeteria. The tables will be out. You will sit wherever you want to sit. And then if you eat breakfast, at a certain time they will call you for breakfast, and you will go to the other side of the cafeteria where tables will be set up for you to eat. Once you finish eating, you come back to sit with your friends on bus duty. This is the favorite of most 6th graders. The favorite part of the day is lunch. We have 2 lunch lines. We always have a deli line, so if you are a pizza person, you can have pizza every day of the week for lunch, which I have students that are in 8th grade and they ate pizza every day for 3 years. So, but you'll have 2 lines. There's always a deli line. There's a salad bar that's set up, so if you like salad, you can order salads in the morning. There's always the 2 options on the main line, but you always have an option of pizza, salad, or your 2 main entree choices.
That sounds like a lot of great choices, Miss Sullivan.
It is. Okay, what does Mr. Thomas teach? All right, Mr. Thomas teaches math and science. So some of you will have Mr. Thomas for math, and you'll have him again for science later in the day. He teaches 2 math classes and 1 science class. But this is his homeroom. Point out the lockers here. I would strongly encourage all my 6th graders coming up to go to the dollar store, Walmart, or somewhere and buy a combination lock that looks like the one hanging on the, you can buy these real cheap at the Dollar Tree. Practice how to use the combination lock, because it's not hard. It's just you're under a time crunch when you do it, and it makes students so nervous, and there's no reason to be nervous about something, especially if you can practice over the summer. So get your combination lock and practice with the combination.
So their lockers will be assigned to them on registration day.
Their lockers will be assigned to them on registration day, and so they can bring some of their supplies to go ahead and leave them here.
And the teacher, the homeroom teacher, gives them their combination. Right?
Yes, the homeroom teacher will give you your locker and your combination on registration day. Mr. Thomas's room, the next classroom is Mrs. Mink. And
oh, look, boys and girls, guess who is here? Yep, Ms. Duncan was here.
She was here. All right, this is Mrs. Mink's homeroom, and Mrs. Mink is an English teacher. So she teaches English all day long. So if you have Miss Mink, you will have her for English. We have another English teacher, but this is one of ours, and that is the only subject she teaches. And again, you'll notice the lockers. Every student will have a locker, so practice that combination. Practice, practice.
When do they visit their lockers?
They go to their lockers first thing in the morning, at the end of the day, and usually one other time. But usually right before lunch or right after lunch. It kind of
Their locker, they'll need to get what they need for the next couple classes.
Yes.
And they won't be carrying tote bags, right? They'll just
Right.
have everything in their hands.
Exactly. Now, how 6th grade works is you'll have 3 classes. Core classes is what we call them, your academic classes. You'll have math, you'll have English. That's all year long. Then for one semester, you will have either science or history. So if you get science first semester, then second semester you'll have history. If you get history first semester, then second semester you'll have science. So you never have more than 3 academic classes at a time. So you never have more than that.
Okay, what's the rest of their day like?
The 6th grade starts their day with what we call A block, which is your first class. It could be, like I said, math, science, history, or English. Then they will have exploratory, which we'll talk a little bit more about. Then they come back after exploratory is lunch. After lunch, they have their B block. At the end of B block, they have band or assisted studies. And then they have C block.
So assisted study is kind of like study.
Assisted studies is where you will go to a teacher that maybe you're behind in something, maybe you need a little extra help, maybe you missed a few days of school and you have some makeup work to do, maybe you missed a test because you had to go to the dentist, and that time it can be used to get homework done, but it's also a time to get additional help with things that you're having a hard time with.
So if they choose to be in the band, they don't have
If you choose to be in the band, you will not have assisted studies. This is Mr. Adair's classroom. And Mr. Adair teaches science and history. So if you have him first semester for science, you may have him second semester for history, or you may have another teacher second semester for history. It will depend.
So if you have Mr. Adair, you only have him from August to say December.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Or January to May. Exactly.
Okay.
But this is Mr. Adair's class, science and history. And Mrs. Lyons teaches English and history. So if you have Mrs. Lyons for English, you could also have her again later in the day for history, for at least one semester. And this is Mrs. Lyons' class. And this is Mrs. Brannon's class. Mrs. Brannon is a math teacher. She teaches math all day, every day. And again, lockers. If you can get one of those locks and practice, it takes a lot of the anxiety out of the equation if you already know how to use it.
So when will they find out who their homeroom teacher is?
When they show up on registration day.
Okay, so registration day, they come to Glade Middle.
They come to Glade Middle. I will be at a table as you walk in the door, and I'll know that you're a 6th grader because I won't recognize you. And I will give you your schedule, show you who your homeroom teacher is, and send you to the proper classroom. And then they'll talk to you more about your schedule and your day. So you won't know until whatever registration day is, and I'm not even sure what that date is yet.
Yeah, we're going to be ready for anything, boys and girls.
That's right. Supplies are on the webpage. We will probably send a list to the elementary school for them to put with their final report card. We've done that before. You can go to Walmart, go to Target. They will have the Glade Spring Middle School supply list also. But it is online. It is on the Glade Spring website. I'll let you all come in here. This looks like a computer lab, and it is one of our labs. 6th graders now all have access to Chromebooks in their classrooms. So they don't come here too often, but you do find the math classes will come here during assisted studies time on occasion. And they'll have people working at the tables, and they'll have people working at the computer. So you'll see this room for a number of reasons when you're in 6th grade.
You mentioned Chromebooks. Do 6th graders get Chromebooks to take home?
No, 6th graders do not get to take the Chromebooks home, but they do have access to a Chromebook that will be their number, that they will, every time they go to Miss Lyons' class, they might have Chromebook number 1, and that's the one that they use each time they're in Miss Lyons' class. So they'll have access here at school.
Good. That's exactly what you're used to in 5th grade, boys and girls.
Okay. That's good. Now we're almost back to the main office, and this is kind of the intersection. When the boys and girls in 6th grade leave at the end of the day, they send them this way. Usually I'm the one in the hallway holding up traffic. So 6th grade will stop at the end of the hallway. We let 8th grade dismiss first, so we kind of watch the 8th graders go by. Then because this is the 8th grade hallway.
Can you imagine the kids go to the 8th grade hall?
Yes, there's some exploratories down the 8th grade hallway. And then the 7th graders will get dismissed, and 6th graders are dismissed last.
So this is the 7th grade hall, and it looks like a place our boys and girls need to see right there is the restroom.
Yes, these are the only restrooms that students can use here at school. Right now they're closed because they've been cleaning. What we have right behind our showcase are the boys and girls restroom. This is our resource officer's office. Our resource officer is Officer Burke. And this is the 8th grade hallway, so we're not going to stop at each of these rooms. But at the end of the hallway are exploratory classrooms, and you will get 6 exploratory classes throughout the entire year. You will do each exploratory for 6 weeks. It rotates every 6 weeks. Not everybody's doing the same one at the same time. So, but this is 3 of our exploratory classes. This first one, if you'll notice with the cow, is our agriculture class, our AgScience is what we call it, with Mrs. Rudy.
Miss Sullivan, what are some things they do in AgriScience?
They do a lot of variety. They talk a lot about agriculture, which of course is farming, growing your own food, raising animals. I know at one point they have fish in here. I guess they're hopefully not.
There's a tank.
Okay, at one point we have fish. I know that she takes a group to the trout farm. They do so many different things in here. They build things. There's technology involved. I mean, it is a class where you learn to do a whole lot. Now, if you love agriculture, ag science, when you get in 7th grade, you can join the club called FFA, which is Future Farmers of America. And if that's something you want to do, there's a lot of opportunities with that club too, that they do above and beyond the class.
And that's in 7th grade.
Now, that's in 7th grade.
And this is
All right, this is Spanish. And this is Miss Wilson, is our Spanish teacher. Some basic words, you learn the alphabet, you learn to count, you learn just basic words so you can have not a big conversation, but you can have a conversation with others. She does, one thing that I really liked about her is once you learn, you cannot enter her classroom without speaking in Spanish. So she lines you up at the door and you have to say, good, and I took French, so I don't know, but you have to say, good morning, Miss Wilson, in Spanish, and she responds to you, and then you enter the classroom. So it's kind of neat.
how fun.
And then you have the option to take Spanish again in 7th grade, and then for high school credit in 8th grade.
Miss Sullivan, do they get grades in exploratory classes?
They get pass or fail.
Okay.
They get pass or fail. So you do the work, you pass. If you don't do the work, you fail.
So we're gonna do the work.
And we're going to do the work. All right, and the last class, exploratory class on the 8th grade hallway is Mr. Kennedy, and he is our technology teacher. And this is a favorite of the 6th graders because there's so much to do in here.
Are we going to get to meet Mr. Kennedy?
And Mr. Kennedy is here today.
Oh,
So let's see if he would be willing to say a word or two. 6th grade, Mr. Kennedy, did they go to every station or no?
They will go to 3 stations, but they could be at any station in here.
Okay. So they won't necessarily get to every single station in 6 weeks?
Right, the goal is in 3 years, if they're in here 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they'll be in almost all the stations.
Oh.
In 3 years.
Looks like fun. I want to come.
And there's a lot of variety in here. So most children find something they really love in this class. And is it just 8th grade? What grade do you do the dragster?
Every grade.
Every grade does. 6th grade will do it too.
The dragster. Yeah, we do dragsters, rockets, we solder circuits together, we do a flight simulator, we build bridges, we've got some computer controlled machines that they use, 3D printers, and they do some architectural drawing here. There's 13 different workstations on total computer animation.
Nice. So they can have a good opportunity to pick maybe a career you might be interested in.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
Here we have another lab. We call it our SOL lab, but it's a computer lab that you will go to at certain times through the year. This door here, and our sign broke, but this door here leads you to my office, to Mrs. Sullivan's office, the school counselor, and the bookkeeper's office. And Mrs. Carver is our bookkeeper. It's called our ISS room, or the in-school suspension room. And this is where you get sent if you've broken a rule and Mr. Hockett or Mrs. Burke, our assistant principal, deems it necessary for you to spend some time in school suspension. I will warn you, if you're getting in trouble in gym class a lot, he'll put you in here instead of gym. So for a day or two to get you, to make you realize that you shouldn't be misbehaving in gym class. But Miss Wilson is our in-school suspension teacher, and she also works with students when they need extra help. So sometimes we'll have students in here that are not in trouble, but they just need some extra help. So that's nice. So you never know, but hopefully you don't go there for being in trouble. Now the classes from here on down are 7th grade classes, so we're not gonna go down there. But this is our exploratory hallway, and you'll see up on the sign it says library, music, computer lab, and art. And with the exception of band, which I guess is covered under music, this is the hallway that you will go. All right, this first room is the keyboarding class for 6th graders. Everybody will have this class for 6 weeks. You learn a lot of keyboarding skills, but this is also where you'll do some career exploration in here. You'll learn a lot of the ins and outs of computer technology, computer solutions. But it is keyboarding. You will learn how to properly type on the keyboard. And Mr. Myers is the teacher. This is the art room, and Miss Smith is our art teacher. And she is phenomenal with art. The students create some of the most amazing masterpieces in here. I keep thinking maybe she can teach me how to do something artsy. But this is one of the exploratories. You will have art for 6 weeks during this school year.
And what is Pause for Pause?
That's one of our clubs.
Can you tell me more about the clubs?
Yes, our club, we have about 16 different clubs that the students will get to choose from. Unfortunately, unfortunately for the 6th graders, 8th graders get first choice. So some of the more popular clubs do fill up. But what we have is, usually the end of August, we have our first club day, and you are assigned a club. I'll be coming around to the rooms, talking to you about clubs, having you fill out a form of your top 3 choices or your top 5 choices, and then I will put you in a club based on that. Usually in 8th grade, everybody gets their first choice. 7th grade, most of the kids get their first choice. And in 6th grade, usually you get one of your top 2, sometimes 3 if you've chosen the top, your top 3 are the most popular. But we have clubs 6 times a year, and we have them in the morning, first thing in the morning. Some clubs have guest speakers. Clubs change every year. We never know what the clubs are going to be because teachers get to choose what they want to do. And some of them will find something over the summer that they love doing, and that's the club they want to do. Paws for Paws is a club that deals with animals. They do a lot of donations and collecting donations for animal shelters. We have, this past year, a teacher got into yoga, and we had a yoga club. So we just never know what the clubs are going to be, but they're always a lot of fun, and there's pretty much something for everyone. All right. Okay. This is the music room. This is with Mr. Carroll. And they've already cleaned everything out for clean. Use it for 6 weeks. You learn some of the basics. In 7th grade, you'll have the option to take chorus all year. It's then called chorus, and it's all year long, or you can do it by semester. And then in 8th grade, you can take it all year. But in 6th grade, it's for 6 weeks, where you learn some fundamentals. You learn it's when you decide, can I sing? Do I like to sing? Is this my future? Because you can take chorus all the way up through 12th grade in high school with Mr. Carroll. Mr. Carroll, okay. All right, step on in to the band room.
Oh, this looks fun.
All right, our band director is Mr. Ballingy. And Mr. Ballingy is at our school in the afternoons, and he's at Damascus Middle School in the mornings. I have sent a form to Mrs. Williams, your principal, and Mrs. Williams sent it to your teachers, and they, I think, put it on your Google Classroom. So you should have gotten a form about whether or not you wanted to do band. I wish you could have been able to listen to the band play and talk to Mr. Ballingy, but unfortunately we didn't get to do that. But if you are interested in taking band, please fill that form out and let me know so I can schedule you in band class for the fall when you return. If you decide that band is something you wish you'd signed up for, we can fix that when you come for registration day. So don't worry about that. If you get into band and you realize it's not what you wanted, you have a little bit of time in the beginning to drop band and go to assisted studies, but I think if you get in it, you're going to love it. Once you're in it, and once the deadline passes, you stay in band for the rest of the year. You could choose to not take it in 7th grade, but after the first couple weeks have passed, you're in band. You will have to get an instrument. Mr. Ballingy's good at helping you find those instruments, so don't let that bother you or worry you either.
So once they're in 7th grade, let's say they decide not to sign up for band in 6th grade, can they sign up in 7th grade?
No, and that's the other bad thing. If you don't take band in 6th grade, you cannot take band in 7th grade or 8th grade or even high school, because what you learn in 6th grade is the foundation and the basics. And so it'd just be like if you went to kindergarten to 6th grade and you missed all that in between. Even if you're a good math student, if you miss what you were supposed to learn 1st grade through 5th grade, you're going to struggle in 6th grade. So because music builds from year to year, they need you in 6th grade band. So
if you're a little bit interested in band, sign up in 6th grade.
Exactly, because you do have an opportunity to drop it. If you get into band and say, what did I do? I don't want to take band. But after the first couple weeks pass, you're in it and you have to stay the rest of the year. But then you can decide, all right, I did it for 6th grade, but I don't want to do it anymore. And then you can drop band with no problem. But band is a favorite of most of the students, and 6th graders really enjoy band. This is the library. Mrs. Henderson is our librarian. and she is into a little bit of everything with the library. She teaches classes. So on the day that you don't have gym, you will have library.
Okay, so library is not an exploratory.
No, library is a class. So like I told you earlier, you'll have gym 3 days, you will have library 1 day, and you will have intramurals the 5th day. So every Friday is intramural day, so that's a big day for the students. They love intramurals. But this is the library, and you just kind of walk through and we'll go out the other door. She has the maker spaces, which were new this year. The first time we've done them in the library, so a lot of the students here haven't had a chance because the school year ending quickly. Not all the students got to do the maker spaces.
Is that sort of like STEM activities?
It is. It is.
Which they're very used to.
So it's really neat. They have all kinds of neat activities.
And they can check out books.
They can check out books. They get 2 at a time. And you must return 1 at least before you can check out another one.
So they have the opportunity to check out a new book and exchange books once a week when they come to library.
Yes, but if they find that they are ready for a new book and it's not library day, they can ask their teachers. A lot of the 6th graders will come during assisted study time. So you don't have to just get books on library day. The library is open for checkout at any time.
So here's a good question that I'm sure 6th graders are going to want to know. Do they have to take AR tests at Glade Spring Middle School?
Depending on how you look at it, good news or bad news, depends on where you are, you do not take AR tests in 6th grade. So you do read, you do read. 6th grade has middle school has a varsity letter challenge, and you have to read and do activities, so many a year, and you earn a varsity letter. So by the time you graduate from middle school, or you get out of middle school, you could have earned the varsity letters for Glade Spring Middle. So you could earn a G, an S, and an M for reading and doing the activities. But the library is my favorite place to visit. As I pointed out earlier, this is the hallway that takes you to the bookkeeper and to the school counselor's office. So let's walk through here.
How do they come see you if they need to?
They have, each teacher will have forms in the room that they can say, can I get a form to fill out for Miss Sullivan? And we'll walk over here, and I have a box on my door. Usually there are forms laying on this table where you can fill out that form. I also have some in my, I'm updating them to the new school year, so they're out right now. But they're here. You would lift this lid and slide your form, your request, right down here. I check it several times a day, so I will pull it out, see what you need, and come get you. You can ask a teacher if it's an emergency, they'll let you come on down. But usually they have you fill out that form, and the teacher will drop it off to me.
So there's not an activity period where there's guidance, but you are always available.
Right. And I do come into the classrooms at different times and talk about different things. I do a lot of career stuff. I'll come in and talk to you about Junior Washington County Community Scholars at the beginning of the year. Yeah, so you'll see me a lot. And 6th grade, I spend time with each 6th grader individually, getting to know them a little bit. So, because I like to know names, so I will want to learn your name very quickly once we get to school. This is the assistant principal's office. I'll let you peek through her window. That's Mrs. Burke. She is with us half a day every day because she also teaches at the high school.
Okay.
And this door here is Mr. Hawkins' office. It's our principal. He is here all day, every day.
And here's Miss Davenport. She is the heart of Glade Spring Middle School. She's a smiling face you'll see every morning. This is Nurse Dawn. She's a school nurse. Carver. She's also a very special part of the office, the bookkeeper, right?
Yes.
All the bill trip money and all the stuff. Absolutely. Another thing I thought of that all students at Glade Spring Middle School are wondering, or 6th graders, what about their cell phone?
All right, cell phones. The students are allowed to have them on bus duty in the morning and in the afternoon. However, when you go to your homerooms in the morning, they've got to be locked in your locker, turned off.
So turned off in your locker. and
Yes.
stay there.
And that's why it's important you learn how to use your combination so that you know how to lock your locker. Because some students will say, well, I can't do it, so they'll leave their locker open. Well, then you can't really put things in your locker that you want to keep safe if you don't lock, if you don't shut it and lock it. So it is important to practice that combination. I would say that if you don't need a cell phone at school, I wouldn't bring it. That would be my suggestion. But if you have one, like I said, you're able to use it on morning bus duty, and you're able to use it on evening bus duty, but it has to be locked in your locker. It can't be in a pocket, it can't be in a purse. It's got to be locked in your locker during the school day.
And another thing I thought of was lunch. Do they have a lunch number just like at Meadowview?
Yes, and my understanding is it's the same number that you had in Meadowview that carries with you.
Sullivan, thank you so much for taking the time to come and show our students a little bit more about Glade Spring Middle School. I'm sure that you all have some questions or some things you might have thought of. You can reach out to either one of us. Our email address will be somewhere where you can click on it or have access to it. So if you have questions or anything you'd like to know.
Send an email if you have any questions at all. And we look forward to seeing you in the fall.